Information and Press for NATO. Some business with Michael to sort out. Michael, when you were watching the extraordinary collapse of the Paul Burrell trial, what did you make of that? Because you knew Paul as you knew Princess Diana.
Yeah, I was just amazed that he was starting to talk about things he said he would never do. I found that pretty amazing that he totally went against what he said. He vowed to me that he would never ever talk about the princess' personal details.
Why do you think he did it? He kept silent for a long time.
Yeah, he did keep. Well, I thought he would have gone right. Well, I don't know, because I don't know the details of the case, whether it was to get out of the situation he was in with the case, or whether it was just for money. I mean, I don't know. I really don't know.
Can we trust him?
Well, I mean, my trust has gone. My personal trust has gone in him. The fact that he's done that. I've said yes. I did know the princess, and we met several times. But I've never ever actually said what we talked about, or personal details of about my conversations with the princess, or what we did.
What's life like for you on a day-by-day, week-by-week basis at the moment? I mean, you used to be on TV all the time. We mentioned earlier, you're pulling in 15 million.
Yeah.
Very few entertainers can get anywhere near that. Maybe they won't. When you can't get on a stage, which you can't do at the moment, what do you do?
Well, I do my writing, and the main thing I do is concentrate on keeping myself well, my recovery. I go to AA meetings, and I have to say that with the people that love me, and I owe a lot to AA as well, because I think without them, I have to be quite honest, I would have really struggled to get through the last 2 years. No doubt about it. I think that's probably helped save me.
You say you're doing your writing. What are you writing?
I write various things. I write a lot. I write a lot of stuff I've done over the past. I was commissioned by BBC Books to do my autobiography, and the events happened in the middle of it, and quite rightly they pulled it last year. The last thing I would want, well, I wouldn't have done it anyway. There was no way I was going to go around last year promoting a book. So that's been put on the shelf for now, and things have happened, a lot that happened since then, and perhaps it needs rewriting anyway.
You talked about the people who love you. Do you have a good circle around you?
Yeah. I have a really good circle of very close people.
Because people have said, that over the years, some of your friends have drifted away.
Have they? Well, they couldn't have been that good of friends if they drifted away, could they? A friend stayed. I mean, friends don't drift away. Your former,
your former agent, for example.
Yeah.
And Jack Tinker, the theatre critic, and people like that.
Well, Jack didn't drift away. Jack died.
But he
drifted away when he died. But I mean, he
didn't want you to go to his funeral. That's the point.
Who said that? Who said that to Jack Tinker? I did go to the funeral.
Well, it's according to Cheryl. So
maybe we're back to that again. Okay. Here we go. So, actually, there was a thing in Brighton for him. What the thing they do? I've forgotten the name of it now. After the event, where everybody talks about Jack, and I attended that. And I had a very good relationship with Jack. He was great. He championed my cause and was a very good supporter of me.
We just received a statement from Essex Police, and I haven't had time to read this. You can be the first one to hear it. They've talked to us this afternoon. Essex Police have reviewed the investigation into the death of Stuart Lubbock and are satisfied with the lines of inquiry identified by the investigation team. However, in view of an additional line of inquiry suggested by Mr. Corker, the solicitor acting for you, Michael Barrymore, a further investigation will be launched based on the suggestion that the injuries to Stuart Lubbock were caused at the Princess Alexandra Hospital. What's your reaction to that statement from the Essex Police?
That's exactly what we've been after all this time, and I'm delighted that well, I've just heard it, so I'm a bit shocked actually, because I'm a bit relieved actually. I just hope that I'll tell you why I'm a bit thrown is because you hear people say yes they're going to do this, yes, and then nothing happens, and it's just been dragged out for so long, and to hear that they're actually going to It sounded like when you started to say that it was going to end up with, oh, and we're not going to take it any further. It did.
It did sound as though it was.
I mean, I thought, oh, here we go. It's going to be, and I did what I shouldn't do. It's preempted.
No, a further investigation will be launched based on the suggestion that the injuries to Stuart Lubbock were caused at the hospital.
Well, delighted is not the right word under the circumstances, is it? But I can only say I'm pleased that we're at last getting somewhere.
We've had a number of emails, and I'll just mention one here from Yvonne in Wolverhampton, talking about, he says, do you think you'll ever get back to your old life? Yvonne adds, I hope you can. Is one of the problems for having you back on television, and Lorraine Hegarsay, actually, controller of BBC One, sat in that seat before Christmas, and she was suggesting to me that she didn't think that you'd get back into mainstream television. Do you think because you're perceived as a family entertainer, an all-round family entertainer, that that's part of the problem? If you were an actor, maybe if you did more Bob Martin, that kind of thing, that we would see you back on television. How do you judge when the time's right? Well,
if I was playing parts, obviously I'd be the character, there wouldn't be a problem, but I've always been known as me. And I can see it. I don't know if that actually holds up. Lorraine's got her own, Hegarsay's got her own point of view. They were negotiating, or we were talking, and whether they changed their mind or that or not, I don't know, but I don't see how that quite works. I mean, Challenge TV show old Strike It Luckies, which are family shows, twice a day, every day of the week. Channel 4 have shown some of my stuff over the recent. This shown, they're on today, they're on tomorrow, they're on yesterday. How is it okay for them to show family shows, and why is it not okay for other people to say they think they can't put it on? I mean, the people, there's a lot of people out there want me to go back on. I am not foolish enough to kid myself that some probably don't. Do you think for whatever reason?
Do you think the public will accept you back at some stage as a public entertainer the way you were?
I would hope so.
Do you think that they will?
Yes, I would think they would. I would think if you gave the public the choice that they would. From my reaction, I can only go on the reaction that I get off the street from the people, which has been huge. Yeah, I can't make people come up to me and wish me well or ask to see me back on. I can't make the website that a lady called Joy runs for me have 30,000 hits over asking to get me back on in that period of time. You know, I don't make those figures up. I'm sure people can give you polls and saying, well, there's people who say this, that there isn't. It depends how you ask the question.
If you haven't worked for 2 years, if you haven't got on a stage and been on TV, presumably there will come a time where the money runs out. I mean, you have to work, don't you?
Yeah, of course I do. I have to do something, I suppose.
When might that become a problem?
Yeah, that's all right. I heard the editor say that.
How long have you got?
How long? Oh, I can survive for quite a while. I mean, you know, I'm not completely hopeless. I'll worry about that when I get to it.
Must turn the headphone level down just a little bit.
Yeah. So I'll take the editor's notes from you and I'll give them to you. No, seriously, I'll deal with that when I have to deal with it. You know. I mean, if the editors wants to join in. Help me with my finances. He's more than welcome.
I don't think he'd be able to help anyone.
My taxes are all paid, and my national insurance is all paid. I run a legit company.
We've got some more email. We've kept you way over time, Michael. I appreciate you staying with us. Joe, what's that? Is that going to make Michael feel better or worse?
Oh, absolutely. This is from Tom. He says, Michael Barrymore has paid the price for the tragic accident which happened at his home. He's now entitled to put it all behind him and get on with his life and career. He's not to blame and has done nothing wrong. These things should happen. I hope he's back on the telly soon, entertaining his public. Might I suggest he hosts one of those popular late-night chat shows? And I wish him all the luck for the future. That's Tom Brady.
Thank you, Tom.
Michael, thanks for your time. Appreciate you coming in.
And thank you, Simon, and thanks for giving me the amount of time you have, and thanks for doing what you have to do.
Michael Barrymore, thank you for joining us. 16 minutes past 3.